Guys, Bob here for Tuesday Night Live. Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate it. Tonight, we will be chatting with our featured guest who will join us in a few moments to share how they have embraced the opportunity to perform together as Santa and Mrs. Claus. Before being fairly new in the industry, how their decision to attend two of the top Claus schools has benefited their development in knowledge and performance, as well as having the tools and confidence to perform in public as Clauses. Stay with us. Opening of tonight's show is brought to you by North Pole Cornerstones, a new, unique, 4-day entertaining educational experience. This is Tuesday Night Live. Now, let's get started by introducing the gentleman who is always going public. Yeah, publicity issuing a challenge to anyone who is willing to what he has cloned or coined as unboxing and test of his homegrown, home bottled hot pepper salsa and film it. How the heck did he talk me into this? I must be mentally out of my mind. Please say hello to Spangle.
There's a reason there's a fire sticker on the top of that jar. So, hey, well, if somebody wants to do an unboxing and taste test, they might get a bottle of that. Hey, Melissa did it earlier today. She's still alive, as far as I know, anyways.
That was a big spoonful.
And it's not really a salsa. It is a relish. It is just basically peppers and sweetener, and that's, added there.
What he's not telling you is it's some of the hottest peppers on earth.
Yeah, they're super hots.
Yeah, they are super hot. So I'm worried. I've been sweating all day just thinking about it. All right, before we move on, let's say hello to our producer, everyone's favorite member of the team, Angela Mack. She's over here.
Yeah, hello there.
Over there. Did you switch your screen again?
No, I'm back. I'm in the right way now.
Well, that's what I mean.
It stayed that way.
Cool. All right. Before we move on, we also want to talk about our YouTube channel at Tuesday Night Live Show 1225. Be sure and join us each week over there on your big screen, or if you want to go back and watch any other replays from past shows from the last 4 seasons, it's a great place to do it. While you're over there, give us a subscribe if you have not. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. All it does basically is let you know that is in your channel lineup or your favorites, you might say. And other than that, if you're over there and you happen to like one of our videos, that also helps push the content out with YouTube the way they operate. And comment if you like. We're always going back and checking out the comments. First half of Tuesday Live Show Trivia is brought to you by School of Santa's 2025, hosted by Spangle in picturesque Ozark Mountains, Branson, Missouri, where fun and education meet.
Read about it reporting for TNL Chatterbox News. School of Santa's 2025 will be held July 17th through the 20th in beautiful, picturesque Branson, Missouri, right in the heart of the Ozark Mountains. If you've been before, then you know all about the 4 days of festivities that School of Santa's is best known for. Each year, the host facility, Americ Inn by Wyndham, Branson, and Conference Center, is home to over 100 Clauses for the weekend and is centrally located in the middle of everything Branson. If you have never attended SOS, what are you waiting for? You are missing out on one of the Claus community's premier educational opportunities. For more information on price and to ensure your place at the next School of Santa's, contact Tanya Lay at Branson Ticket and travel today at 800-432-4202. Again, that's 800-432-4202 and get registered today. I'm Read About It reporting. Now back over to you guys in the TNL studio.
You know, when I see that promo for School of Santas each time, it brings back such great memories of the school each year, and the entertainment that you either bring in-house and or take us out to those Branson shows. Can't nobody beat it, man. It's fantastic. Like I said, it brings back such great memories. We always have fun at School of Santas.
For those that have been there, know that it's a really good time. You know, the ones that haven't come there, they're just missing out. You know?
I'm getting it. Sorry,
Yep. So she's going to throw the trivia question up here and let everybody kind of look at it.
And
It's,
Bob, can I just randomly throw in an extra trivia this week?
well, sure, you do whatever you want to,
And
brother.
I'm just going to find a prize and give it to them if the winner.
That's
'Cause I learned something new this year or this week. You know,
So-
and I thought I never thought about that. Okay.
You want to do it now, or are you going to do it afterwards, or what?
Well, let's do this one since she's got this one up, and then
Okay.
we'll give it a second, and then I'll throw the other one up there, and I'll have a prize for the other one.
Sounds good.
Okay. So we need the Christmas movie quotes. We need the name of the movie and the year. Okay. So follow me, boys. We're going in hot. No one likes a show off. Private. We need the name of the movie and the year that it was done. All right. So follow me, boys. We're going in hot. No one likes a show off. Private.
Yep, that's good. Good.
So that'll
good,
get your name in the hat for North Pole Cornerstones, and to get your name in the hat for School of Santas and Branson, too.
That's right. Now the drawing for the North Pole Cornerstones will be our last show, the beginning of November, which is only I think 5 weeks away, something like that, 6 weeks. And the drawing for the School of Santa's scholarship will be 6 weeks prior to the date of the school, which is 18th, 19th, 20th, and 21st this year. Is that correct?
Yes, 17th,
No,
18th,
17th, 18th, 19th, and 20th.
17th to the 20th. Okay, now I need 2 answers for this other trivia question, okay? All right, I want to know which state of the United States is the furthest east and which state is the furthest west. Now, I just sent you this, Bob, in private chat. Did you know that?
What
No, I didn't. I would have guessed one of them, but not both of them.
state is the furthest
Which
east?
state is the first? Which of the United? Which state is the furthest east, and which state is the furthest west?
And that was a little tricky. That was a little tricky.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, if you Google it, it'll tell you right up. But hopefully, hopefully they wouldn't Google it. Hopefully, they try to guess it. You know.
Yeah.
But anyways, I thought that was kind of ironic. You know.
I think you've given everybody quite a bit to chew on right there.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, we're always excited to have the couples on the show, and we've always said that the newer Santa and Mrs. Clauses bring a fresh new perspective and idea to our red suit industry. The couple we have tonight will fill the bill and more. They are alumni of 2 of the top educational opportunities in our industry, attending both SOS and North Pole Cornerstone. They went out and put together their wardrobes and now perform as a couple of the seasons. Please welcome Larry and Sherry Davis.
Hello, guys. Boy, look how nice y'all look.
Thank you.
It's Santa! I know him!
Makes me and Spangle look like a couple homeless guys here. Very good. Well, it's good to have you guys on the show.
Well, thank you for having me.
Folks, in the audience is who I'm speaking to. We're so blessed to have such a lovely couple here in North Texas. We're blessed. They are members of our Texas State Santas, and we love being able to share fellowship with such great friends. Let's get started and letting the folks at home get to know more about you guys. So here's our first. Leave it to Spangle. Here's our first
I'm
question.
that homeless guy.
First question is, how did you guys meet, and how long have you been married? Either one of you.
We've been married 47 and a half years. We actually met at a post office in Bardwell, Texas. And through 4-H programs, we were both a part of that growing up, and that's where we met. And it just kind of the seed was planted, and we just let it grow.
And okay,
Now,
now let me just make a guess here, okay? You met at the post office. She was the post office general master or whatever they call them, and she was hanging up that wanted poster, and you begged her, please don't hang that up.
No, actually, she was there delivering cookies to the postal people.
Imagine that.
You know, Santa wants those cookies, so I had to follow her.
yeah. Let's see. She's been a Mrs. Claus at heart forever.
Yeah. All right.
Well,
So
that's 47 and a half years. We congratulate you. Carol, I just had our 50th, and it's a long time to spend your life with one person, but I wouldn't imagine spending it with anyone different. I mean, I'm sure you guys are the same.
I go down to the senior center sometimes for lunch. It's right down the street from us, and we go down there. And I was sitting there at the table talking to this guy today, and he goes, "Well, I guess I better go get my wife and leave." I said, "Oh, you have to go pick her up somewhere?" He goes, "No, she's sitting over there at that table. We've been married 78 years. A lot of times we sit at different tables." But I thought, man, 78 years, isn't that just amazing?
It is. That's
It's a
crazy.
long
Yes.
time, I can imagine.
I'm hoping my wife can put up with me for 2 years, then
She
3,
will.
then 4. I'll take them one at a time.
There you go.
Hey, anyways, before becoming the Clauses, what hobbies did you each have, and how did you spend your fun time?
Go ahead.
Well, I've always volunteered places, and so I love doing that, in nursing homes and at school and things like that. But I love to bake. I do a lot of baking, sewing, some taquitos. My grandkids are my favorite thing to do. I love my grandkids. That's probably.
How about Santa?
Well, family time, children, interacting with children. I've always loved that. I did have a kind of a side hustle of doing woodworking at one time, so I do like to do that and see what I can create. But
So, did you create big things, little things, furniture, or?
Mostly little things. I haven't tackled furniture yet.
Uh-huh.
You could do it though.
Very good.
You both, you mentioned when you met that 4-H. I've also noticed that you guys cowboy hats, like to, I guess, go to the rodeo a lot. Did you guys participate in the rodeo?
Well, my extent of rodeo was, I don't know if you remember, Mansfield had the Cowbell Arena. And I went up there for bull buckouts and those bulls there, but that's the extent of my involvement other than just being a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
the closest I come to the rodeo is slinging a little bull here and there.
Well, and there was one other important picture that I happened to see while I was overlooking at y'all's page here a while back. Rodeo clown, was that a Halloween costume?
No, that was a church event. We had a thing there, and I don't know. I was voluntold to do that one. I'm not sure if I could, but I pulled it off somehow.
It was at cool event. We set it up like a rodeo, and we rode stick horses. He was the clown, and he did an amazing job. After that night, everybody told him he should become a clown because he did a really good job. It was fun.
Well, and that kind of goes back to the eating meat that we had earlier this year that Spangle came down and brought his trailer down for. Uh, I had a couple people that didn't know who you were because we've had a lot of new people come into the Texas State Santas, and I overheard a conversation between two guys that were saying, "I don't know who that guy sitting right over there is. He's kind of thin, but man, he's got a good look. He looks so much like Santa when you just look at him." And so that's a testament to that. And as a rodeo clown, heck, I was sold. I thought you'd been in a rodeo.
All right, let's get into the closing, Larry. Most of us get started by being voluntold by family, friends, church to play Santa or for an event. How did you come on to don the red suit for the first time? Or was it something you had dreamed of in the past?
Well, I will do the best I can to tell you how that happened. About 5 or 6 years ago, we were on a family camping trip in Arkansas. Well, we actually didn't know her at the time, but there was a Mrs. Claus that was there with us. And she looked at me and told me, "You need to be a Santa Claus." I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Oh, we have so much fun. We have roundups and we have camping trips, and it's just so much fun." So I just kind of, put that in the back of my mind. And then a couple of years later, I happened to meet a Santa in a restaurant in Arlington, and it was in the season, and he was dressed with his Santa attire, and he had been, I think, to a school that morning and done an event. He was there eating lunch, and we got to talking to him, and I was just mesmerized by his beard, and I thought, that's great. And his belt, and so we talked there for a little bit, and he said, we're always needing Santas. Said, you might ought to think about it. And I looked at him and I said, well, I wish I could, but I don't think I could ever grow a beard. Mm-hmm. Well, locked on there a couple of years, and a couple other people kind of mentioned that. And I was thinking about getting ready to retire one of these days. And so I thought I needed something to do in retirement. I didn't want to just not have anything to do. So I thought, well, let me try that Santa. And I thought, but I will only do it if I can grow a beard. I want to be a real beard Santa, or I don't want to be a Santa. Why, I don't know, but that was my thought. So I kind of talked to Sherry about it, and we finally decided that was the route we were going to go, and we were going to try it. And then I got scared because I didn't have a suit. I didn't know anybody that was a Santa. I didn't know how to get started. So somehow or another, I had heard, well, there's Santa schools. So I started getting online and started searching, and lo and behold, I found 2 or 3 of them, and there's one that was at a place that I really liked to go. It was in Branson, Missouri. So I got to looking at that, and that was the year that Spangle was going to have 2 sessions, and we had considered going to the second session. Well, I was looking further into Santa schools to see if there was anything else that was maybe nearby. Well, lo and behold, the week of the second session of School of Santas was Tim Connigan's School for Santas in Coppell, about an hour from us. So we chose to do School of Santas the first week, and came back and did School for Santas the next weekend. So,
that's just jumping right in there, isn't it?
It felt like it, yeah. But I tell you, I was blown away.
I thought he was making it all up just because he wanted to come to Branson, but he didn't. That was true. He really wanted to come to the School of Santas, and I thought it was funny. He left out one big part that I can't believe he forgot to say this, because he was so passionate about it. The Santa that we met in Dallas, what really reeled him in was he was telling a couple of stories about he does the last Christmases for children. And one of our hesitations about Santa was we love to give back to things. We do quite a few nonprofits every year, and I couldn't see a lot of that in place with the Santa Claus. And we learned real quick from him that there's a lot of stuff to do in the giving back department, and so that really sold him. But it also made him cry that day because he was telling stories about last Christmases.
Do you remember who that Santa was?
Yes, it was Santa Darrell. He is in the Arlington area, from what I understand. Bob, you may know him.
Yeah, Daryl Houston.
Yes,
He made a huge impact on the whole restaurant. Like, he came in and everybody knew him. He hugged people. I just love that about Santas, you know, how friendly most of them are and how genuinely sweet they are. So that sold me that day.
Yeah,
I
one of
guy was Spangle.
one of Daryl's first. I think it was his first year as a professional. He was the Santa at Decorated Warehouse, which is where we're taking our field trip after our eat and meet for the Texas State Santas, and it's just up the street from the restaurant that we'll be at. And it was great going in with him because everyone already knew him because he was their Santa there at the Decorated Warehouse. So instantly we were all brought in and gave a warm welcome. And Daryl's good people, definitely.
Well, I actually, when I decided I was going to try this, I reached out to him by text, and we talked through that. I don't think I've ever actually met him in person, but
After
that, since then, but we did talk a lot, and he gave me, a few pointers that I had no idea what I was going to do, but he helped me through getting started.
That's why we call it a brotherhood.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, Sherry, I know that he just told how he got started. I'm not sure if we actually understand. Was it something that he came to you and said, "I'm going to do," and then you said, "No, not without me"?
Well, Larry is so passive and kind and quiet. It was probably more my ideal for us to do it because we've always done children things. I spent 4 summers in a row for a whole month in Romania, and I did a lot of different work like that. We fostered children and did children's ministry at church, and so we knew when we retired, we really wanted to do some more ministry work, but it's so expensive to go overseas, which I would love to do that, but it was so expensive, and I knew we weren't going to have the funds. And I said, we could do this and give back some, but also make some money as well. And I said, and you will be so good at this, because they call him the kid magnet at church, because before he becomes Santa, he was always holding somebody's baby or doing something with the kids. He does great with kids. He always said, I think I like kids better than adults. And so it was just an automatic thing. And when I heard the ministry type stuff in it, I really wanted to do it. But the first year he started, I was having some health problems and I was still working. So I only did a few events with him. So this is going to be my first year, and I'm excited and nervous, but I'm telling you, some things I've done this year has helped me be a little more prepared. So, yeah.
Pretty
Definitely.
cool. By the way, Daryl and Terry Houston will be at the Eat Meet October 5th, so you guys
Oh,
look
good.
together again and at our Eat Meet.
Okay.
Well, Bob, don't you think that's a real nice looking tumbler he's got there?
That is a nice looking tumbler. Look at that.
Look at
Look
that.
at 'em go.
I had to go all the way to Branson, Missouri to get that.
Oh gosh, I got to tell a little story on you guys. Back in February when we had the Norfolk Cornerstones, they are in with Spangle, and I see them carrying a bag of stuff out, and then I see them over with another vendor, and then carrying some more stuff out, and I go over to another vendor a few minutes later, and they're over there carrying stuff out, and Larry told me, he says, "Man," he said, "I am broke. I have spent more money on costuming and clothing and whatnot." He said, I just can't walk away from these people. And Sherry's mad at me now, I'm sure, because I done spent too much money.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
fun. I mean, you do. Some guys can get in there, and over the course of 3 to 5 years, you can build up your stuff, and it's cool to be able to start off with that first suit and how exciting that is, and then each time you upgrade or you buy something new to add to your costuming and all, it's just so exciting.
Right.
Mhm.
Well,
It's
you
an,
talk,
it's
All
an
right.
addiction. I mean, it's just an addiction,
Yes,
It-
it kind of
and
is.
and we're your dealers.
and then you have Spangle, in your ear.
Yeah.
Well, look at this. Well, look at this.
And he's training his wife well too. So
Yeah, she's doing good.
mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, I know the reindeer pelts that he had over in the corner was one of the things y'all were looking at when I went in there, and that's
He's so
he
cute.
makes those you know way he displays them makes them really look nice, and you just got to have one.
Mhm.
Right.
Or two.
All right, well, this is kind of the proverbial which came first, the chicken or the egg, and I think you kind of might have already addressed this, but did you get out and do a gig before you took formal training, or did you go ahead and get your training in first and then come back and go from there?
Well, when I decided I was going to do this, and I had already lined up going to school, out of the blue, a friend of mine, I got a call from him. He wanted me to do a Christmas in July event. Well, I thought to myself, what am I going to do? Well, luckily, I went to School of Santas, and I came back and did that event on a Wednesday night, and then went to School for Santas the next weekend. So I had my first event between those two schools,
That's cool.
Amazing.
and it was enlightening. I was very thankful that I had been at least been to one school to start, to have any idea what to do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Okay.
you mentioned Tim's class. Tim was the first class that Carol and I took, and our second year. We kind of did it the other way around. We started off with family and friends and did a few gigs, and then thought we loved it enough that, hey, it's time to upgrade our suit and see if we can get some training. And just like you, I went on the internet and put in professional Santa schools, and Tim's uh, advertisement popped up and was having a class like 6 weeks out in Dallas. So I called Tim, signed up, and a couple of weeks later, he calls me back and says, "Well, we've got more folks in Houston signed up than Dallas. Would you be opposed to traveling to Houston to take the class?" And I said, "No, not at all. That's not a problem." So he ended up switching it to Houston that year, and we went down there to take it. But with Tim, he's so relaxed, he's so polished, he's so good at what he does. One of the top, Santas in our industry, if not the top, and I've said that many a time. But he gives you the tools and the confidence to go out and perform. So that was a great start with Spangles, School of Santas, and then doing a gig and can't get your feet wet and going to Tim's and learning more, because I think what I'm trying to get around to is what I think by doing that summer event, Christmas in July event, then you went into Tim's class even knowing more and being able to think about the things you needed to learn more about. So
Right.
And Bob, when you did it, when you Googled up schools and stuff, there wasn't a whole lot out there but Tim's and a
no,
few
no,
others.
you had C.W. Howard and Tim's class and Susan's class up in Denver, and those were the three that popped up.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That was it.
So how much did school help you both, and how much have you both grown as entertainers now that you have the tools and the confidence in your abilities as performers? And what was a couple of those lessons you learned?
Oh man, we have learned so much. I recommend everybody. We've always had the philosophy anything worth doing is worth doing to the best of your ability. And without those schools, there is no way that we would have been, Larry, we thought that his first season he would probably do 10 show gigs, and we would be so happy about that. Well, he ended up doing from December 1st to December 25th, like 50.
Well, it included a few in November. I had about 4 in November, but total it was about 48.
And we were blown away. And I think part of it is that we had already done the School of Santas and Tim's class. We felt confident in some things that we learned there, just a little bit about the business. I mean, I think anybody can put on a red suit and ask kids what they want for Christmas. But if
Yeah.
I'm going to do Santa and Mrs. Claus, we want to do more than that. We want to offer a lot of joy and happiness and hope for the kids. And I don't think we could have done all that without school, because y'all taught us so much about how to read a book, how to tell a story, a little bit about the business. There's just so many facets that you learn about in school that you can't get without, investing in that. Because I really feel like it's not that we can afford all the schools, but you know what? It's an investment in what you're doing for others. And you just have to kind of look at it like that and save for it. And I guarantee you, your money you put into the school, you'll get back in your gigs if you work hard,
Yeah,
Well-
and it's not only about putting on the suit and asking them what they want. It's about giving them that experience when
Yeah.
they're there, letting them know what when they walk away that, wow, that was Santa.
Mhm.
And that's probably for me, that's the thing. Had I not gone to school and learned anything, I would have probably just put on the suit and said, well, what you want for Christmas, and be done with it.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. I mean, the questions these kids ask, just being around them and making sure that you're doing the right thing, and showing them really what you're trying to do.
Well, I can tell you, working with kids forever, some that you don't even speak their language in Romania, the one thing kids always understand is that if you show love to them. And, some of these kids is just, we're thinking we're going to give them something, but, the kids always give us way more than we give them. But I just think without the schools, we wouldn't have felt as confident about our ability to hold their attention, to make it a good experience for them. Like Spangle said, you want to give them a good experience, and you have to learn tools to be able to do that, unless you're just Spangle.
Now we got to teach you to start going to children instead of kids.
Yes.
Kids are baby goats.
Yeah, that may be true.
Yeah.
That is true. They are
Yeah.
baby notes.
Yeah, and I just think, I like to do with the whole children thing, and not that I don't say the other kids sometimes, but I believe that children is the name is more majestic than kids.
Yeah, that's
Well,
true.
too. That's a good.
One thing I have learned to use that, and this is not necessarily from having a gig or anything, but it's just being, I guess, a Santa in general. There's not only, I call them young, but there are people that are just young at heart as well. I had an experience at a dry cleaner that I use. And last year I was taking my stuff in to be dry cleaned, and there was an older lady behind the counter, and she said, I saw her eyes were just huge. And the lady that I was normally there, she knew me, and she turned around to this lady. She said, "Look at Santa." And this was a grown woman. And I looked over at her, and she had tears running down her cheeks. She was just so, I don't know, it just melted her heart just to see Santa. Every time I went in there, she had a smile on her face after that.
Love that. Love that.
Yeah.
Well, I also think one thing that I left out about school that's important, all these, what are those people called that sell things? I forgot. My brain's not working. What are you? A vendor. Yeah. There's a lot of vendors at these schools, and that's how they make their money to do what they need to do. So I have to get out overthinking. I have to buy from every one of them because that's how they're making their money. And I'm trying really hard. I'm probably the one that's bad, not Larry. but you know, the schools were really great with that vendor thing because I had no idea what we were going to give out to the children or where to get suits or, you know, just you can get so many ideas of things that you can do with the children in the vendor rooms. And so I think that's a plus about school too, because I don't personally like to and I'm not saying anything bad about it, but I personally don't like to support Timu and Amazon if I can. I'm retired retail person, and you know, it's just I would rather buy from somebody that I know that that's their passion and their business than to give those kind of people my money. So I just want to put a plug in for the vendors that drag all this stuff to school and set it up, and you're there, and you know you can get cute pins and Santa rings and all kinds of stuff there. We did get our cups there, but there's so much there to get suits, you know, all kinds of stuff. But anyway, that was the thing I left
I
out about.
always say keep the money within the Santa community by supporting those within our industry, and it just helps us all out. And you know, there's been some talk in the past about should you have vendors at schools, and I'm absolutely 100%. I always say absolutely. It enhances the school. It gives everyone a chance to get out of the classroom and go and see what's available. And like you said, you know, those guys drag a lot of spangle. He drags a whole warehouse full of stuff with him everywhere he goes. So, and, you know, 40-foot trailer sometimes
And,
with
and
that.
I believe sometimes too the vendors help the school.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
If they know there's going to be a bunch of vendors there, they want to come to the school where they can look at the other things. Now you went to the School of Santas, and then you went and did your gig, and then you went to Tim's school for Santas. Okay, so on that one gig that you did in between those two schools, what did you learn from that gig that you wish you would have done differently?
I learned how nervous I was going into it because I didn't know, even though I'd been to school, I was still nervous. It was a unique situation. The family that I did it for, their boyfriend girlfriend, he lived about probably 200 yards from her, and so I parked at his house, and he picked me up on a side by side, and we drove to her house to do the gig. Well, he escorts me up to the front door and opens the door and said, "It's all yours," and I almost froze. I thought, what am I going to do? And I don't know what happened. It just kicked in. I walked in like I knew what I was doing, I guess, because I
Confidence.
made it through that. The only thing I did, I was so nervous when I got out of my truck for him to meet me, I forgot my hat. So I went in there without a hat on.
And I want you to know, I got a report from that family. They instant messaged me pictures that they took, and they said that they have been doing Christmas in July forever, and that they've never had a Santa so good. They told me that he brought these cute little jingle bells for all the kids, and we sang jingle bells. He read a story to them. He handed out gifts. He got involved with them icing cookies, and so he did a great job.
It must have been okay because they called me back again this year as well. So
Yeah.
That's always a
Very
good sign.
Hey, did you bring your hat?
I did this time.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, I told you you're going to fall in love with this couple. They are just quality folks. Just love you guys. So, what has been your favorite gig or visit, and has there been that one child that stood out? Can you share that moment?
Well, I can say that the child that stood out was probably different than my favorite visit.
Okay.
I did have one visit that was a photo shoot at a popcorn store in Waxahachie. I heard before the gig, I got a message that there was one little girl coming that was right on the verge of not believing. And what she wanted for Christmas was a autographed picture from Santa to make sure that she still believes. Well, I got the word of that, and I had that picture and I autographed it. And when she came in, I handed her that picture, and her eyes about bugged out of her head. Well, the same visit, there was 3 little girls came in there. They were stair step, and they were all had the same dress on. This was a favorite, but it was a hard one. They all had the same dress on. They were barefooted. They were there in there with their mother and grandmother. And I got to talking to them, and I did ask them. I said, "Well, what do y'all want for Christmas?" Well, they wanted for Christmas. They wanted their daddy to come home from Iraq. That was hard. So that's probably the 2 that stood out the most in my season last year. Probably my favorite gig. One of them was I was able to do Operation Exodus at DFW Airport. I don't know if you've ever done that or heard of that. Coca-Cola sponsors it, and I was hired by a marketing guy out of Georgia that was putting everything together for Coca-Cola for this event. It was from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. at DFW Airport. I did 3 nights of that. And that's the military troops from around the area coming in to go home for Christmas from basic training. And that was a good, a favorite one for sure.
Of course, I got so excited. I immediately started getting on the phone thinking, we're going to get gifts for these kids, for their dads to take them home. We're going to take food up there. We're going to do all these neat things. Well, then shortly after that, they really just wanted Larry to come alone, because a lot of these guys were sergeants and stuff. And it's like almost a secret that they're in town. They don't want them to know they're away from base. And so none of that happened, but it was great for him.
Oh, I loved it.
It sounded like she had some plans, though.
Yeah, I was making plans.
You know, I've been fortunate enough that I've done a few years ago. I did one of these things where the boy told me that he wanted his father to come home for Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and then we had his father show up.
Oh wow!
Oh, that's so cool.
That was.
Yeah, that was always nice.
Yeah.
I've done one of those at the mall also. That was really, a matter of fact, I boohooed like a little baby.
Yeah.
They was bringing me tissue because I was crying so much.
Mhm.
So what
Right.
is your favorite type of gigs, and what do you think? How you're going to focus on having more of that type?
Well, I think by default, somewhat home visits are probably my favorite. I'm able to interact with the kids. I'm able to spend time with them, and just basically get down and dirty with the kids, and that's the children.
Well, I'm glad this show is 18 and over when he said get down and dirty with the.
Yeah. But that's what I like to do. Kids are what children are what really makes me smile. They melt my heart, and that's why I heard somebody say something about that they were not only Santa during November and December, they were Santa 365. Even now, when I go to the grocery store, when I go out and eat, just in public, and you see children that are just, bug-eyed at you, and you look at them and you smile and they smile, and it just melts my heart.
And if you're doing it right, you become a nicer driver on the road too.
Sure. He loves doing the nonprofits that we do. We have CASA here in town. CASA is a really sad thing, but then we have a First Look, which is for pregnant women, trying to help them keep their babies and stuff. And I think the one you're looking the most forward to that he's got this year is what?
Have an event, Special Olympics event in Mansfield. The athletes are between 18 and 40, but they said their what do you call it? Their
Mindset.
mindset is probably 4 to 18, 4 to 12, somewhere in that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that one.
Yeah. And I know about the CASA because not as Santa, but I am a CASA volunteer.
Oh, good for
Mm.
you.
So
They've approached me about doing that, and I probably will eventually. I'm just trying to give myself a year off before I do anything like that. And now he lost his job, so we'll see.
and not to change the subject away from you guys, but I remember, we had to go to all these classes, and then you become an officer of the court. You have to go to the courthouse, and the judge swears you in as an officer of the court.
Right.
And so when it became my turn to get sworn in, the judge announced my name, and then he got up and he walked away from his thing and he started looking around. He goes, "All right, I know somebody's here's tricking me. They're punking me." Like, nope, that's the name.
That's funny.
Yeah, it is funny.
I've volunteered at CASA. We do table arrangements for them for their big event every year, but I haven't gotten involved like that, which I want to.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
But I always say clauses are clauses because they have so much compassion in their hearts before getting into the industry, and it just carries over. And as Spangle said, it really makes you better in everyday life as a driver, as a human being. And I know my goal going in when I first got started was just to treat every child like they were my grandkids, and you do that, you're doing your job. So,
Mhm.
well, let's change gears here a little bit, guys. Let's get into some fun stuff here. And this is for each of you. What is your favorite Christmas movie of all time?
Mine is Elf. I love it. I
That's a good
love
one.
it. There's a lot of good classic ones out there that a lot of people say, but every year it's kind of a tradition that I get together with my two grand boys and we watch that. And it is just the craziest movie, and I just love it. So,
Larry?
Well, for me, I haven't watched all of them. I think probably Polar Express is probably my favorite as far as
Great.
just the meaning, the story behind it. I do like that the one with Tim Allen where he has the little boy that goes with him. All that I like that one, but I guess Polar Express is probably my favorite of all time so far.
Both great movies.
All right. On another note, what's your favorite Christmas song?
It depends if I'm being Mrs. Claus or just individually. If I'm being
Tell us both.
okay, Mrs. Claus is probably Jingle Bells, Rudolph, Santa Claus is coming to town, those. And if I'm just being serious, it's probably Away in a Manger. I love that song.
Mine would probably be Here Comes Santa Claus would be my one of my favorites. And then on a serious note, I love The White Christmas.
I don't think there's a bad one anymore. Well, maybe Bad Santa, but most of them are good.
What's
So,
your
as
favorite?
youngsters-
What's your favorite song?
My favorite song
Yeah.
Yeah.
or Christmas movie. I gotta say, on the Christmas movie, it's got to be Chevy Chase and Christmas Vacation. I don't know why I call me weird, but I can sit and laugh at that. That's like the Three Stooges. I can sit and watch Three Stooges. I still laugh and know everything they're going to say, but it's still funny. So,
That's a good one.
Christmas song, I'm like Larry. I like Here Comes Santa Claus, and Rudolph the Red Nose. Not supposed to say that, but that's what I've got as my ring chime on my telephone. So,
Yeah, I would say my favorite song for me would be the one that we used at the school for the theme song. There's Another Santa Claus.
oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. And if you haven't, do a Google search on that one, guys. And I think Smagle's mentioned this before, but do a Google search.
Hey, what's the movie, Spangle?
My favorite movie is probably Get Santa.
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that's when they bust them out of jail, out of prison.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I just kind of, he comes in there trying to be all hip, and he runs into a short person in prison. When did you get here? You're supposed to be at the North Pole. Yeah.
All right. As youngsters, did either one of you get to go to the department store or a mall or anywhere and visit Santa at Christmas time?
About this. We neither one of us visited Santa. It's weird. We didn't have parents that took us. That's sad.
Hey, I get it. It's kind of hard to go visit Santa when you are Santa.
Yeah. Did y'all go as children?
For me, my mother and grandmother worked downtown Dallas at Tatches, and we would go down there a lot at Christmas time. And the main memory I had was the storefront windows, from the sidewalk with all the displays, animated Santas and things in there. Now they did have a Santa, and I can remember walking past, where Santa was, but I never got to go see him at that point. So, but my first memory and fondest memory is those storefront windows. It wasn't just Tatches; it was all of them. Neiman Marcus, everyone, downtown decorated that away at one time.
Yeah.
Well, the only time that I remember seeing Santa, I'm going to guess that we probably wouldn't see Santa every year, but the only time that I remember it is that I was about 12 years old, and we went on the Navy ship because my father was in the Navy, and we went to go see Santa. I had a broken arm, but I was like 12 years old, and the neighbor across the street, their family went with us, and he was about the same age as me, but we were too cool to go up and see Santa. So the two of us had to go up together to get our picture with Santa because we were too cool to go up there and get it by ourselves,
Yeah.
I was always too cool for school.
Yeah.
All right, Sari, going back to your childhood, what was your favorite toy or present that you got from Santa Claus?
We had a really bad fire one year, and when we were driving home, I was worried about my Christmas stuff and my dog. And I think my favorite gifts, though, were always things that Mama would get in there and sew for us. And there's 4 of us sisters, and she would always sew us something like a blanket or a new dress or just something fun. And I think those were probably my favorite things because I don't remember like loving my toys that much or anything. It's funny, but I think it was always her homemade gifts. I couldn't wait to see what she'd put together. So that's probably
Homemade gifts are from the heart, and they're always the best, no doubt.
And Larry, how about you?
Well, probably the 2 things that stand out to me is I got a bicycle one year, and I kept that bicycle till I was probably in my early 20s. And finally, I wasn't riding it, so I gave it to a kid.
That's when you decided them 3 little wheels are just too
right.
much.
Yeah.
Very nice. And what was the other thing? You said 2 things.
Well, the other thing was, I don't know if y'all ever saw these, but I got a Buddy L truck one time that was a farm truck. It had instead of pulling a trailer, had the trailer built into it, and it had little horses and that kind of stuff like that. And I played with that a lot. That's probably my 2 favorite things.
All right, this question is for both of you. In your childhood, what is one of your fondest memories with your family at Christmas time?
Mine's probably we would sit around the table, and I think I had a strange family, but it was just funny to sit around the table, and it was almost like we were telling stories on each other from the past of what we had done. I was real bad about telling people what they'd get for Christmas, and so I always don't tell Sherry because she's going to tell. And when I told, it was always an accident. Like I would be making a sentence, oh, I got Kim a sweater for, or something like that. But but probably my dad told the best stories, and they were always not always, but most of the time they were about my mom, and they were always really funny stories. And so I just remember us doing that all the way from a little child all the way up, and I miss those times sitting around my mom and dad's table telling stories on each other. That's what we did.
Nice. Bob?
I was looking at a comment over here. Sorry. Sherry, is there a favorite food or dish, maybe a dessert, that either you or Larry's family traditionally fixed at Christmas celebrations as a child that has now become a tradition for y'all's family celebrations?
Absolutely. His mom was a good cook. She made everything really good, but everybody liked her frozen dessert, and it is really good and fresh. So we make that, and my boys want to know where it's at if I hadn't made it. And probably the other thing is cream cheese sugar cookies. We always made those. And we still do every Christmas.
Getting me hungry.
I just made some and put them in the freezer so that I'd have some ready for the season.
Yum, yum.
I'll give you my mailing address after the show.
And in return, he'll send you some hot peppers.
They're really good. They really are.
Yeah.
Larry eats too many of them.
Yeah.
All right.
for me-
How is okay? Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say for me, the main thing is, and it probably sounds kind of crazy, but my daddy always made French onion dip.
Hmm.
We always had, snacks before the meal, and I don't care what it was, he made sure we had that French onion dip. I still make it today.
Very nice.
Love them old memories.
So, how as a performing couple did you develop your routine to perform as Santa and Mrs. Claus?
Well, we haven't performed very much together yet, but the few times we did, I just tried to support him and things he might need, and try to work the line and talk to the kids and get them excited about getting to sit in his lap. But I haven't done a lot with him yet, though, so I plan to go on most of them this year. But it'll be interesting how we work together. What do you think?
Well, I know that I do have one return event from last year. It was my longest event of the year last year. It was about 7 hours. It was at an elementary school in Ennis, and every student in that school came through and got a picture. They did it by classes. So to get through that many children, I'm praying that she will go with me on that one for sure, because there is no way I can do that and keep those kids moving and still give them quality time. So that's one of the things I'm looking forward to is having her just to be able to bounce ideas off of, to help me. She can critique what we do as well as myself. That way we can just make better visits.
I've done those type of events before, and they are long. Well, for us, we got there early. The Parent Teachers Association put together pancakes with Santa. Worst thing you could have with syrup and butter and everything else. But and then went through each one of the classes. Like I said, we were up on stage, had a professional photographer that was doing the same ones that do their school pictures. So I didn't have to worry too much about the logistics. I just sat in the chair and, entertained each child that came up, and it was fun. I enjoyed doing it.
Well, it was hard for me last year to do what I felt like I needed to do with the children, but I gave them each something as they came through, and I really needed help with that, because I couldn't give them what I wanted to give them and keep the line moving and that kind of.
Yeah.
All right. So kind of with that all said, you spoke about earlier your story, how you met, which was one of the questions that we threw at you. But I've got one that kind of puts a twist on that. Within every couple's routine as Clauses, it's important to be able to answer those hard questions. So when children ask you about your backstory, is what this pertains to. Ask you how you met or something, that relates to your backstory. Do you use your real life story or do you use a fantasy story?
I use the real life story. We talked about this a lot lately. I feel like it's easier to stay pretty true to the story, and if you go with your real life story and not try to make one up and remember what you said every time.
It's easier to remember.
Well, and her delivering cookies to the post office. I mean, come on. I mean,
That was perfect. Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of a twist, a little bit of a twist for the Santa thing. I'm glad that all worked together well. That was good.
All right. Well, I think this is a good place to take a break. Let you guys kind of rest for a moment, and we're going to run our Stuff for Santa commercial, followed by the School of Santa's second trivia. So stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stuff for Santa.
What'd I say?
School of Santas.
Stuff for Santa commercial in School of Santa's
Get one
trivia.
of those.
But it's Stuff for Santa's trivia, SSS. So there you go. Anyway.
Hey, the bloopers that we were talking about earlier will all be on his end.
Oh, hello there. Yes, of course, it's me, Santa Claus. Now, you may not believe this, but one of the questions I get asked the most is, well, not how do I do it all in one night? No, but where do I get all my things from? Yes, now, what am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about the finest things I have. My glorious gloves, all my knickknacks and trinkets and things. Yes, all the giveaways. Yes, for me to give to the children before the main event. Yes, if I see them in the streets, if they come and see me, I like to have something in my pocket I can treat them with. Yes, and there's one special place where I can find all these magical goods. And that is, of course, StuffForSanta.com. You should head there now and see what magical gifts you can find. Mrs. Claus, have you got my ice pad? Yes, log me on. I'm going to have a look. I shall see you there. StuffForSanta.com. Merry Christmas.
All right, Spangle, what do we have for the trivia and your showstopper special?
That video never gets old for me.
Nope.
And I also like how at the end he says, "You got my ice pad."
I know.
If you guys have seen these coins, we've been advertising them on my Facebook page. They're really nice. They got a collector's case. They're $12 each, but we've been running a special on my Facebook page. So if you go look at it, there's specials for 20, 40, and 60 on price. But if you mention TNL when you order them, we're going to give you free shipping. And I mean, you can get them down all the way down to $3, and they're normally $12. But the winner tonight, we're going to send you 5 of these.
Wow.
So anyway, so that's the trivia. They're the prize. They're beautiful coins. Anyway, so here it is. Christmas movie quotes. Sweethearts, you can't buy the necessities of life with cookies. We need the Christmas movie title and year. And I just don't know why you can't buy everything with cookies.
I don't either. You should.
Hello.
That would be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so you'll get a few of these. Go to my Facebook page. You'll see the pricing on them. We got them really low priced right now. Stock up for the season. And a
Very
lot of
good.
people
All
are
right.
getting them too.
You guys work on that one. It's I think it's another one that's going to come fairly easy. So we'll see who gets that one. And moving on to the second half of the show with our featured guests, Larry and Sherry Davis. Over to you, Spangle.
All right, the season is upon us. Have y'all done much on self-promoting for the season? And with a shorter period between Black Friday and Christmas this calendar, how are your bookings filling up?
Actually, they're doing very well so far. We've got quite a few. Have a couple of days that are completely booked. I've had to turn down several, probably more than I even have so far on a few of those days. December 7th, I believe. No, yeah, what is it? December the second Saturday of December. There's everybody been wanting that one, and I've had to turn down. But I'm getting a lot of bookings. I do through Gig Salad, through Hire Santa, but I've done a lot just self booking, and I do. It's going well.
That's the Larry and Sherry agency, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. We have a really cute flyer we made. I wished I would have saw this question. I guess I missed it, and I would have had one in here. We made a really cute flyer with 3 or 4 pictures of us, and then what we do, and that you can either contact us or you can contact. And I've just been going around and introducing myself to a lot of people and handing some flyers out this year. And that's been fun for me because I didn't have time to do that last year. So.
Very good.
That's funny, Sherry, because us folks in the South, we pronounce things different than folks do around the other parts of the country. And yesterday I was talking about flowers, and Mitchell Allen made fun of me because he said FLOWERS or FLYER or FRYER.
Well,
I said, well, it sounds like you
said
described me like a Thanksgiving turkey. So,
yeah, and I thought she was talking about a flower at first too.
Wow.
Something pretty to smell.
I'm guilty.
Oh,
gosh. Yeah. It's like it's just who we are, right?
Yeah.
All right. So business clause is such an important part of any visit and can play many roles. Have you done any events where children are scared of Santa, but they come run into Mrs. Claus or gravitate towards Mrs. Claus?
At the popcorn store last year. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did one. It was at a early learning center in Hurst that I wish she would have been there with me. There was one little child that was so scared. I never got a picture with them.
Yeah, we tried all.
I tried everything that I could think of, and it just didn't work. So yeah, that's going to be a big plus.
Yeah, I'm
Well,
excited.
you missed the big bear hug thing.
Yeah. I hope that's going to really be not such a problem this year because, of course, it breaks his heart when they're like that. So hopefully I can soften some of the kids this year. Excited.
Very good. Now, guys, if you could spend the holidays in any foreign country, I know you talked about Romania earlier. Which one would you choose, and why would you choose that country?
Of course, I left part of my heart there in Romania. I don't know, man. I guess I would like to go back. It's just it's a hard country to go to, and it's a hard place to do service, but I would probably pick there.
And I guess for me, the only thing I can think of is, especially after coming to School of Santa's this year, probably Jerusalem, meeting the Jerusalem Santa there and talking with him, and I think that would probably be my choice.
I've mentioned before, he's got one of the most compelling stories as a Santa, being in the Holy Land, riding a camel as Santa, and retracing Jesus's steps on Christmas morning. And when you get to meet him, he's just one of the nicest guys you could possibly meet.
Right.
He is.
Mhm.
So this is one for Sherry. If you was during an event, you saw a child or a group of children misbehaving or being naughty, as Mrs. Claus, Mimi Claus at that, would you try to correct their behavior?
Yes, I probably would.
Yeah.
I think it's
Well,
I think it's important. I mean, I'm not real good with that. My kids can tell you they probably ran over me. Larry was the bear in the family with that, but um, I don't like I don't like that, especially when there's a lot of other kids there and stuff. So I probably would, but I would try really hard to do it in a really softer way. You know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I know it would be something that you would do in a kind and nurturing way, but I
it's
was worried about the child getting
once
hurt.
starts doing it, it's liable to snowball into a bigger problem.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I think he's going to really love me being with him this year because he would come home and tell stories last year, and I think would have just made the experience better for everyone. Even the kids that were there that weren't misbehaving, they could have had a better time if I could have like gone and spent some time with the kids that were not behaving well. So yeah.
You're gonna make sure he says that, right? You're gonna love spending time with me this year, and isn't that right? Yes, dear.
Of course. That's true.
He probably really won't because he told me the other day he has his own way of doing things. And I'm like, what does that mean?
All right, Spike, you want to go out and see what everybody else has got to say?
Let's see what they do say here.
Now, Angela had her, for some reason, her comments quit coming in on her feed over there. So we've got some starred, but she said there was others that didn't get started because she couldn't see them. So I'll let you start off, and I'll kind of start digging through.
All right, well, let's start with Tanya Hampson. She says, I will say it here, NPC, North Pole Cornerstones, started out our year. And if you have not signed up, do it.
I'll second that.
I'll add now. So do it now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you know, NPC is the next one out of the chute, you might say. And if you can't make NPC, remember there are School of Santas, and it's in the middle of the year, so or do like Larry and Sherry and do both.
Branson.
Yeah, I do both because they both have equal things that really will help you be able to be the best version of yourself.
All right, let's put you two on the spot. Are you signed up for both of them already?
Yes, sir.
All right, good job.
And for NPC this year too, guys, going from a 3-day to a 4-day. The reason we done that, and we've kind of explained it, but we want everyone to know why we went ahead and jumped from 3 to 4. We had so many folks, quality folks, that are in the instructor side of things that was wanting to come on board and do workshops or segments for us, and we just couldn't see saying no because we see the value in what they have to offer. So we've gone from we're going to have our 4 core instructors and our sound and audio guy, Scott, and then on top of that, 10 other instructors that are going to be guest instructors coming in doing segments. So it's expanded, new topics, and it's going to be really, really cool. And I'm excited. So
Yeah, that is.
I
That's
have to
exciting.
throw out another point about schools. I mean, it's not just schools, it's also the event that we're going to here in a couple of Saturdays. But if you invest in people's lives, they invest back in you. And it's one of the things that I'm loving about the Santa land the most is that I feel like you're a family now. I feel like I've got a family, and I feel like if I had a tragedy, I have people that I would call in the Santa land. I like the way that people love on each other at school. That really happened at all the schools we went to.
All right.
And Randy and Debbie and Sherry and Larry and us have all living here in the Dallas area. I told both Randy and Debbie when Randy had to go one night to the hospital or emergency room, I told her, I said, if you need me to come down or you need me to do anything, I'll drop what I'm doing. I don't care what time of night it is. Just let me know. And I think that's the way we all feel about our brothers and sisters. And we drive across the globe if we had to help someone if they really needed help. So that's just the love that we all have in our hearts.
Yeah, Deanna Golden says, hello, Larry and Sherry. Sherry, I miss you.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see you next year.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm excited.
Jenny Kringle says, looking forward to learning from you both.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That was right as the show started. Are you taking the next one?
Tanya Hampson, hello, Sherry and Larry. You said that already. Let me see. Yeah.
That's a new one. Looking good.
Looking good. Okay. Derek Diggins says many of us do supplement our income from the products we sell. Again, Derek is a vendor and of course, makes some fantastic shirts and all types of things that he has. But the one thing I think that stands out the most, that most folks really just absolutely love is his creative side when it comes to logos and, can't beat Derek's logos.
And who doesn't like Slave Driver?
Oh yeah.
Slave Driver. Yeah. Two questions. One, what's one special moment of interaction that you have had in your performance? And two, what is the one thing that you learned as a newer clause that will stay with you forever? So
Well,
what's a special moment or interaction?
the thing that will stay with me forever, I think, is the family feel. I can remember arriving at Branson the first year and not knowing anybody, not knowing where to go, what to do. I was like a kid in a candy store. I walked over and I saw the area where you were setting up, just seeing everybody working. Didn't know anybody, so I didn't say anything. Then later that evening, I walked down the hall of the hotel and 4 or 5 guys came in, Santa's, I guess they'd been to eat or something, and they came in and just started talking. And I stood there and talked till probably almost midnight. And that's probably the thing that will stick with me the most. The family feel, the warm feeling that I get from being a part of this group.
And as far as gigs, I think one of the things that's going to stand out to me the most is I didn't do very many, but was we were doing a nonprofit for Ennis. It was they build duplexes for people and put them in them for 6 months and help them get back on their feet until they can get out. They're basically, most of these people end up being homeless when they go into ACROSS. But there was this little boy, this mother had 4 kids, and she was living in one of the ACROSS duplexes, and he was probably 10. He was older, and he had on tennis shoes that had holes in them, and his clothes were really tattered. And he got up to Larry and told him all he wanted for Christmas was some new shoes and some new clothes. And it's those kind of things that I think are going to stand out for any clause. Just, so of course, after the thing was over, immediately I went over to talk to the lady that we were doing the nonprofit for. And I said, if y'all don't have somebody set up to do Christmas for that family, I want to do it. I said, that baby needs some new clothes. So I think it's going to be those things, listening for opportunities, and hopefully you can do that, give back to the kids that need it so bad. So, yeah, I think it's going to be those kinds of situations that are going to stand out the most.
Well, I think every pair of tennis shoes I own's got a hole in it.
Well, we'll see if we can take up an offering for you, honey.
Well, that's how I get the laces through them.
Oh, I gotcha.
Anyway, those questions were from Santa Doug up in Indiana. So I don't think Spangle mentioned that.
Yeah. And AJ's got a few messages where he's trying to get a hold of Melissa, and that he also needs Sherry Claus's card.
Okay, I have it. I'm so excited I got mine.
Ask AJ for his card.
Yeah, AJ, can you send me? Hey, can you instant messenger me on Facebook and send me your address, and I will send you mine. I just got them this week. I'm excited.
St. Louis, Mrs. Claus, her question has already been answered about are you attending North Pole Cornerstones? And you would
Yes,
say
that's
yes.
Diane VN, and she signed up. She'll be coming back to Cornerstones. And Deanna Golden says that there are 3 scholarships available for NPC. So if you don't think you can afford to go, you can always apply for the scholarships. Go over to the website and find out all about that.
Okay.
All right, Deanna Gold says, Sherry, what was the surprise that you most about yourself since you stepped into being a Mrs. Claus?
That
Right.
I've been so nervous because I've worked with kids my entire life, and I've just been kind of away from kids for the last 16 years, like doing something major, and I found myself questioning my ability to get back into this. And it's silly, but that's probably been one of the things that's really surprised me. And it also surprised me that it can be such a good ministry.
But I will say that North Pole Cornerstones did help her with that.
Yeah.
That is something that we did at school that and Deanna was a part of that session.
Mhm.
So we're thankful for that.
Okay, Bob.
Hang on, I left that page. Come back to it. Tanya Hampson says doing school incentives was definitely the best middle year school ever. It got us going for our other business opening Friday. She's talking about their food trucks. And I know she's very excited, and they have put so much work into those. And I can't wait to make a trip down and try some of their food.
Me too. Me too. She's such a sweet lady.
Absolutely. Okay, I think that covers everything that we had started and then some. So, hey, at this point, let's do our Talbot Insurance Services video. As I mentioned on yesterday's show, there's a lot of different places that us Clauses can get our entertainers insurance, for each season. So there's many choices out there. But if you're looking to bundle home, auto, business, there's many different types of insurance. Larry loves to bundle, very accessible. Pick up his number off that flyer that we just showed and give him a call.
Yeah, or order something from Stuffer Santa and you'll get one of them flyers in the mail. and I carry 2 different types of insurance from him. I carry the insurance as my performers, and I also carry the school insurance when we host the school. It's through him as well.
You get a whole bunch of this stuff when you order from Spangle.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go ahead.
I just gonna say I got a chance to here. This is my first time, but yes, I've contacted him and we've done business. So
good.
Like I said, you can get everything bundled with him, and I know for a fact that he's quoted me auto insurance, and he has some great prices there as well. So I mean, like I say,
I'll tell you what, Flo on television ain't got nothing on him.
I'm telling you. And he's been in the industry for decades, and second generation insurance is his father was in insurance business, so he knows.
He talks about bundling. He can bundle.
He can bundle. That's right. Okay, let's reveal tonight's trivia answers. Follow me, boys. We're going in hot. No one likes to show off private. Was from Penguins of Madagascar, 2014. Also love that they say, smile and wave, boys, smile and wave. Another great line from that movie. And our winner,
Derek Dugan.
Eric Dugan, gets his name put in the drawing for both School of Santas and NPC. School of Santas is $459 value, all inclusive. North Pole Cornerstones is $450 all inclusive. So pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, let's see. StuffForSanta.com. Christmas movie quotes again here. Sweetheart, you can't buy the necessities of life with cookies. Edward Scissorhands,
Oh,
1990. And the winner there,
Santa Doug.
Santa Doug gets that one. 5 coins coming his way. Do you have Doug and Jenny's address, Spangle?
Well, I just need Doug's.
Yeah.
And then the
Oh wait,
winner
no.
for the second part of the first one, remember?
Yep. Was who?
That was Everett.
Oh, okay. And the answer there, Spangle, you want to tell them?
Alaska. It crosses the border, so Alaska is our furthest east state, and it's also our furthest west state.
Because that's on the international date line, correct?
Oh, not date line. It's not the date, but the north, south, east, west line.
Okay. Gotcha.
Date
Okay.
line, we just put it in yesterday and today, not east and west.
Makes sense. Makes sense. All right, so we are starting to work on the 4th annual Halloween costume show coming up October 29th, Tuesday Night Live on a Tuesday night. Please contact me or Angela Mack if you are going to participate. Let us know what your character is going to be. We start putting the categories together, the groups together, and start getting everything laid out. This has been one of our funnest shows over the last 3 seasons. And the more contestants, of course, the merrier. Pun intended.
Yeah. So join us next week. Wait, hey. Am I in the right spot?
Yeah, you went too far.
Yeah, hey guys, remember there are prizes for different categories. And so not only is it fun, but it's rewarding.
Yes, it is. You know, we give away at least 3 or 4 different prizes for different categories. So again, Halloween show is always fun. You know, us adults, we don't get out and do a whole lot on Halloween unless we have grandkids that come over or, you know, or give away candy at the door, maybe that sort of thing. But as an adult, to get dressed up in a costume and come to TNL, how much fun could that be? All right, Spangle. What are your closing thoughts, my friend?
My closing thoughts are I've got to get cool tumblers like them instead of drinking my water like this.
Oh my goodness. If people only knew how many of those tumblers he has.
yes.
Boxes and boxes and boxes of them. He drags them out and says, Bob, sell these. All right, Larry and Sherry, thank you so much for coming on, guys. Fantastic show. If people didn't fall in love with you, they're just not right in the head. I mean, you guys are so wonderful. We love you.
Well, we
And
love
looking
you.
forward to the meet on October 5th, and that'll be the next time we get a chance to get together. So,
Well, Bob, I'm not right in the head, and I still love them.
Yeah.
Hey, guys, remember next Tuesday Night Live, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Be there.
that's right. We got a good guest, a guest that Spangle knows all about, Rachel Sockert. You want to tell them who she is?
Well, she's writing a coffee table book on the clauses, and she's interviewing them, and you're liable to be in this really great, big, I don't know, enormous book that she's writing. Maybe volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. I don't know. But she's a really, really nice lady, and she'll be here to talk to us about it.
It'll be cool.
She'll be popping up in different locations too. I think she'll be at one of either North Pole Cornerstones or SOS or both. Or
She has already signed up for Cornerstone. She will be there and will be doing interviews. So if you're coming to Cornerstones in the end of January, 1st of February, and you want to get in that coffee table book, start thinking about your story, what you want to convey to her, what you would like to have in print. Because books last a long time, and once we're all gone, then there's something for the future to look back on.
And you can't forget to catch next week Monday show with Bob and Randall, Monday 3 p.m. Central. And I'll tell you what, that show is just taking it off, and it's became a world of its own.
It's a fun show. It's with the Something Burger hot topics that we do, and then of course the closing segments, Randall's TIPS, which is tips about magic and different things that you can do as an entertainer. And we went back with our segment yesterday of Santa's toy catalog for 2024, which is about the hot new toys that are expected to be bestsellers for this upcoming Christmas season. Everyone in the Claus community needs to know about the toys because the children are going to ask you. So the better and more you know about those new toys, the better you'll be.
Yeah, and don't forget to join Santa Mel on Thursday, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on Santa's Magical Fellowship Group.
That's right. And a quick programming note, all of the TNL network production shows will start on the same week next year. It's probably going to be around the 1st of March. Once we get that date set, we'll be sure and put it out and let everyone know. So we'll have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and both Thursday shows.
4 days of TNL Productions.
Right, tune in, kick up your heels, join in the fun, all powered by TNL Network Productions. A big thank you to SchoolofSantas.com, StuffForSanta.com, SatBombs, NorthPoleCornerstones.com, SantaNana.com, and of course Santa's Magical Fellowship Group. Tell everyone good night, Spangle.
Good night, Spangle.
All right, remember to join us for our next Tuesday Night Live each week, 7 p.m. Central, same Claus time, same Claus channel. Count your blessings, not your sorrows. Have a blessed week. On behalf of the whole TNL crew, which I'll name them this week, Spangle, Jessica, Melissa Lynn, Rob, Randall, Angela, Scott, AJ, and myself. Remember, I'm Baba, Santa Bob McMasters, and I remember to always let your Claus heart. What's that? Shine bright.
I said I'm Bobo.
Oh, there you go, Bobo. All right. Hope to see everyone back here next Tuesday. Check us out on Monday. You guys stay where you're at. We'll talk some more around the backside.
Good night.
Not all.
Bye, guys.